today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this week of Thanksgiving, November 20th through the 26th. And this week gives us a lot to be thankful for in many ways as we wade through the endings that have happened over 2016 that are leading to the year of new beginnings that 2017 has promised to be. And the second half of the year is really when we start getting into them. But first we have to release the remnants of what we are letting go of. And that's exactly what this Scorpio new moon is that we had that happened yesterday on Saturday the 18th. Now, Scorpio in the world of astrology represents that cycle of death and rebirth and the transformation that happens from something that we have to let go of and the ending of something that's reached its natural end of completion. And then it moves into the next phase of the new beginnings that are waiting for it. And that's exactly where a lot of us have been over the past year, letting go of what no longer serves us, what no longer works for us. There have been a lot of unexpected losses. And this is the time when we process that, grief, when we process those losses and we come to an understanding that our life is what it is now, and that in theory, even though these things may hurt and they may have been unexpected, they ultimately push us further into who we are now on our journey in this lifetime now, and ultimately it's bringing us better things as we move forward. So this new moon cycle that we had over the weekend reminds us of that. And when we focus on that and when we accept that, when we listen to what the universe is telling us and our spirit guides and God, we come to an understanding that this is when the healing occurs, as long as we're willing to accept it. And our spirit guides are there to help us in that process. So as we start this week off into Thanksgiving, we are very much reminded of what we are grateful for. And what we are grateful for in those endings that had to occur, all of the events and the memories and all of those things, we bring thanks to that. And in that process, the universe responds with more to be grateful for. All right, so we send that out starting this week of Thanksgiving. That's a great start. Then we go into Tuesday. And the sun leaves that sign of Scorpio. See, as the sun has been moving through that sign of Scorpio, it's been shining a light on that death and rebirth, that cycle of transformation that we're going from. And now the sun is done with that. It's done shining a light on where we've grieved, and now it's ready to shine a light on where we need to expand to. And that's exactly what it's going to do as it moves through the sign of Sagittarius over the next 4 weeks. Now, every year when the sign goes through the Sagittarius, it starts shining a light on our faith, on our direct, unique connection that we share with what we view as the Spirit of God. Our faith, we focus on that a little bit more. And of course, this time of year going into Christmas, we all are even more mindful of our faith and our religion and how much of ourself we dedicate to that. But it's more than just that. It's about the faith that we have in the darkest of times, that things will get better, that luck will turn and come our way. Because, see, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet Jupiter. And Jupiter is that gigantic planet out there that brings us luck. It's like the guardian angel planet is what I call it. And whatever Jupiter touches, it brings us luck and expansion. This has been the year of Jupiter as it's gone through Libra and now it's moved into Scorpio. But it's been balancing the scales for us this year, kind of helping to wait out that process of the things that we need to let go for those rebirth, the new things to come in. So Jupiter has been a big player for us this year. And as it does that, as it takes things off of one side of the scale, it's bringing opportunities in on the other side to help us really live in what our purpose is and what we're supposed to be doing moving forward. So when the sun goes through Sagittarius over these next 4 weeks, it shines a light on that as well. New opportunities, new luck, expanding ourselves beyond where we've limited ourselves to, because we get ourselves in these comfort zones, right? and we won't move out of them, and we won't budge, because it's easier just to do what's tried and true. But this is a year that's trying to move us out of those things. And we have a little bit more confidence as we go through this fiery sign of Sagittarius. It is represented by the arrow, which means let's move that way. Let's get out of these boundaries. Let's break down these walls that we've set for ourselves. Let's get out of this fishbowl that we've put ourselves in. I say that a lot of times too. Because we get stuck in these things and we need to move forward, and that's exactly what the explorative sign of Sagittarius has us doing. So maybe this is going to be a time frame where you explore in the mind and you want to learn more. Sagittarius loves to learn more about something new. So maybe it's time to start going to a new seminar, reading a new book, following a new person on YouTube and learning from them, but expanding the knowledge base that you have. Maybe you're really going to start going to a class. Maybe you're going to start taking new classes. Maybe you're going to move to a new career. Maybe you're going to move to a new location, or maybe you're just going to travel a little bit more and explore the world that's around you and the cultures that are around you, because that is what Sagittarius wants us to do. It wants us to get outside and move around and do those things. Whether it's travels of the mind or travels of the body, it's putting us beyond what we're used to. And when we do that, we experience new things, we have fun, and we grow. Personally, spiritually, and emotionally. And that's exactly what we need to do over these next few weeks. So, not only that, but this is a major thing that we have happening this year as Saturn leaves the sign of Sagittarius. I have had a lot of Sagittarian friends, clients, colleagues, family members. I've had a lot of Sagittarius this year that have been feeling a lot of strain over the past couple of years as Saturn has been touring its sign. Now, Saturn is the planet of karma. It's the planet of lessons. It's the planet that restricts us and holds us back. Now, naturally, Sagittarius don't like to be held back. It doesn't like those barriers and boundaries, right? Because it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter expands us beyond boundaries. So to have Saturn in that sign since 2014, our Sagittarian friends, now this is somebody who has their sun, their moon, or their ascendant in their birth chart in the sign of Sagittarius, you have had that very restrictive and lesson teaching planet Saturn going through your sign since 2014. You have had to carry a lot of new responsibilities. Perhaps you view them as burdens even, having to come to a place where you're not able to travel as much or free to do the things that you're normally doing. This is a 30-year cycle that it's been since Saturn has been in your sign. What it's trying to do is set new solid ground for you, whether that's in career, whether that's personally. I've seen it in all various ways for Sagittarians. I've seen it in terms of career, where people are really reaching the potential of who they are and having the solid ground moving forward. When Saturn leaves, Sagittarius is on December 20th. So anybody with a birthday within a few days of that, you're going to be feeling it even more so this year. But this transit, I've seen it career-wise. I've seen it on a personal level, because Sagittarius, being ruled by Jupiter, has a tendency to overdo things. It can overpromise things. It can overdo things. And it can overcommit itself. And sometimes those things will come back to bite you. Maybe you're overeating, drinking too much, going out and having too much fun, too many things where Sagittarius lets itself get out of control and it needs to be reined in. That's where Saturn is helping some of those Sagittarius as well, putting some boundaries on you because you need them. Learning the lessons of self-control that you need. That's a very big thing that Sagittarians are learning as well in this 30-year cycle. Ultimately, whatever it is, wherever it's impacting you and making you feel restricted the most, ultimately as it moves out of that sign in December, is going to help give you a good solid footing for the future. And it's maturing you in ways that you haven't seen in quite a long time and bringing some really wonderful things in the process. But for all of us, that's a big thing too. I just wanted to throw that in there, that we're all going to have a little bit of an experience with that as well, because it impacts us all, but it's going to make the biggest impact on our Sagittarian friends. So that's all I got to say about Sagittarius right now. We'll get back to that another day too. So that's about all the major ones that are happening this week. The last thing that we have is that Neptune is moving out of its retrograde phase. Now, it went retrograde in June, and it retrogrades for 5 months out of the year every year. So it's not the same as like a Mercury retrograde that happens 4 times a year that really screws up the lines of communication. Phone calls don't go through, mindset doesn't work, things are delayed when Mercury goes retrograde. We all feel it stronger, but when Neptune retrogrades, it's not as big of an impact. But this is going to be a thing where as it moves forward, any feeling of being in the fog or having cobwebs in the mind, confusion, gets lifted up. There it helps because Neptune helps us to dream, and it helps us ultimately see the bigger picture, especially as the sun moves into Sagittarius, which is a sign that's known for seeing the bigger picture of things. This is perfect timing as it goes direct the following day on Wednesday, I believe it's the 22nd. When Neptune goes direct. Now, like I said, this will impact a lot of us in a way of feeling like the fog's a little bit more lifted. We have more ability to understand where we need to go moving forward, especially if you've been making dreams for the future, where you need to go. But the people that are going to feel it most are those that are ruled by Neptune, and those are people that have a strong Pisces influence. So that's sun, moon, or ascendant in the birth chart. You're going to be feeling it a little bit more. It's almost like your engine starts going again, because retrograde kind of holds you back and it makes you look to the past a lot. And here we are moving forward. So expect some strong dreams coming through this week, because the spiritual network is around regardless, trying to bring us answers as we pray, right? That's another thing that's cool about Sagittarius and the energy, is that it shines a light on our prayer life and how much we connect with God. But it's not just about those prayers of direct communication with God. Riley, not right now. I'm sorry. My son is playing some YouTube and we can't be watching it right now. Just a few more minutes, please. Okay. All right. Thank you. But it's also about listening to the advice that God is giving us and the spirit world is giving us. And the only way we can do that is when we take time out every day to meditate, to hear them. You can't hear them if you're driving in the car with music and the kids and the day and the bear. You can't hear them. So you have to reserve some special time every day to listen to the guidance they're giving you. So let's all kind of focus on that this week, and Neptune going direct really helps us to strengthen that connection as well. Now, another thing we do have at the end of the week is the planet of the mind, Mercury. There's that Mercury again. It makes a really cool connection with the planet of Uranus. And when it does this, it brings some really neat flashes of insight to us. This happens a few times in the year. And when it does, it brings brilliant new ideas. It brings sharp communication. We're able to really get our point across, and we're able to hear even clearer those messages that are coming through. So that's a great way to end this week, as that happens on Saturday. But all of those energies kind of surround us anyway, regardless, in this time of Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's about everything I got with that one here. So let's do the reading, pull it all together here, and see what other insights we've got moving forward. So let me get my box of stones here, as you can see, and see which spirit is working with us, which spirit guide is really strong this week of Thanksgiving, helping us to bridge that gap of communication that we need. Super strong right through the third eye there. Oh, this is a good one too. Okay, so what I've got here is a moonstone. And the moonstones are, of course, of the moon. So that's Archangel Haniel, who also was the angel last week coming through. Angel of the moon, angel of intuition, angel of feminine energy, right? She wants us to go in, listen to our dreams, listen to the insights that are coming through to us, and to feel with all of our heart, and to nurture ourselves so that we can nurture others. But the main thing that she works on is strengthening our intuition and following what it's telling us. So she's the angel around yet again this week. Angel of the moon. Well, what you got to tell us here, angel of the moon? Let me puke it all out at once here. Archangel Haniel is the angel for Cancer energies as well. So I feel that she is directly doing a shout out here to a Cancer that's watching. You follow your intuition, my friend. You are ruled by the moon. Your intuition's stronger than anybody out there. Listen to it a little more, eh? And that card flipped right on over. And I know a Cancer that I just did a reading for this week that this was the outcome card for you here. And it goes to show with all of us as well. This is her message directly to us. The Ace of Air is a card that represents some new ideas that are coming through to the surface that are going to help you move forward. This is a card of direct connection to God, and that God is bringing you some new ideas for how to change an old situation, right? Literally, it says brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation, clarity comes through. That's also true as Mercury and Uranus make that connection this week. But it also represents, no matter what, this is a new beginning. In the suit of tarot, air cards or swords cards are of mental process. Ace cards represent new beginnings. Put it together, and what do you got? New beginnings for new thoughts, new ideas, new communications that come through with people that really help you move forward and where you need to go. So Archangel Haniel is saying, listen to us. We're bringing you some new ideas, some fresh air, bringing it on in. So let's pull another card, one of the chakra cards here, to just get a little extra insight as well. Archangel Haniel, what do you want us to keep in mind with these new ideas that are coming through? Not that card. Let's try one more. Well, I'm going to do this 3 more times. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that. We were just talking about that earlier, the grief card. New beginnings that come from these losses, right? Oh boy, this is a tough one for me. I'm sorry. Oh. Can you please check on Jack, please, for me? Thank you. I got our other little dude in there is having issues with his Legos, and he's very sad. So I need the oldest to look, and it's actually good timing. Because we just had to put our dog down yesterday, and so as you see, she's holding that dog, and it's like exactly how I was, too. Sorry, I don't usually let things get so personal here, but I can see the beauty that they're bringing through. And of course, the more I open my heart to all of you, and this is a card of the Heart Center, it helps all of us to understand that those cycles that we go through are tough, but they have to be done. They have to be done because it's the best thing. Maybe not for us, but maybe it's the best thing for someone else too as well. So new beginnings that come from the losses that we have. Moving forward, and to trust what our intuition is telling us and what's going on behind the scenes. All right, everybody, I think that's my cue. That's my cue here. Know that they're watching and helping and healing in that process. So everybody have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Bye.